It's fine understanding design principles on an intellectual basis, but it's even better when you can see and understand them on real-life designs. So today's video will show you how well you actually understand design principles. And we're going to start off with the easier questions, then progressively get more difficult. So follow along and do keep score on some paper or a phone or something like that. And yes, sometimes there might be multiple correct answers, but points are going towards the most obvious and main correct answers. So the first question is for 3 points, and it's fairly easy. On this design, where is the main CTA or call to action which uses emphasis? Each question is going to have a 10-second window for you to decide the answer, or you can just simply pause the video. Now, if you thought that this here was the main call to action, then you're correct, and that was worth 3 points. So here's a business card design. What design principles make the back of the business card appear so different to the front of the card design? It's a simple design principle that creates an obvious difference. So yeah, the answer here was contrast, and again, that's worth 3 more points. For the last 3-point question, we have this design right here. Now, if I draw a line like so, it's obvious that we have an illustration on the far right and the logo in the top left. Positioning a design layout like this mainly uses what design principle? So the correct answer was 3 points for balance. And if you've answered every question right so far, you should have 9 points in total. Now we're going to get a bit more difficult with some 4-point questions, so let's get right into this. This is a pretty famous poster design, and might I add, it's a pretty cool looking poster as well. But for the focal point on this design, what principles have been used to create this sort of illusion? It's a subcategory of a design principle. So the correct answer here is negative space. But if you simply said space, you can have 2 points, but negative space will get you 4 points. So again, a 4-point question. On this website design, what principle helps me or you, the viewer, understand that all of these belong together? Or for that matter, that all of these belong together? So for the chance to bag another 4 points, the correct answer was proximity. Proximity relates to how separate objects share a relationship when grouped together, and this is so then the viewer subconsciously links them as one. So another 4-point question. Looking at this design, and more specifically the typography on the far left, what 2 things can we do to this text to make it more effective and just look better as a whole? Now you can get 2 points for each correct answer out of 2 correct answers. So the first correct answer is to create contrast in terms of the fonts being used. So basically just changing one of the fonts to something else. The second correct answer would be to create hierarchy with the use of size. So there's 2 correct answers totaling 4 points for both of them. And here's another web page design layout. Now you can get 1 point for every single use of hierarchy that is on this design, and that's excluding the main navigation bar at the very top. So you might want to pause the video and have a think about where you can see hierarchy being used. So the first example of hierarchy is how Brian is bright white, and then Lane is more muted and more subdued. That's basically hierarchy of color on this part of the design. Secondly, Brian Lane is a lot larger than the text above it. The third use of hierarchy is how the name Edith is brighter white than the text above. And the fourth use of hierarchy is how the main graphic on the right is larger than everything else. And the fifth example of hierarchy is the text here is slightly larger than the name Edith. So in total, there are 5 main uses of hierarchy on this design, worth a maximum of 5 points. On this magazine layout, what design principle has been used throughout every page that helps you realize that it's connected in some way? The right answer for 5 points here is that a square graphic has been repeated over and over again, which is the design principle of repetition. You could also be writing saying the color scheme has been used throughout, but that also falls under repetition, so the key word here is repetition. And for another 5 points on the penultimate question, take a look at this poster design. The lines coming from the camera are making use of a design principle that relates to the viewer's eye. What is this principle? So this is called the use of rhythm, and it's how design elements help guide the viewer's eye across or along a design. Here's the last question, and it's a pretty tough one, I must say. It's more of like a bonus question, and it's worth 6 points. If you can get this one correct, then you deserve a pat on the back and maybe a chocolate chip cookie. This design is all about weight loss and improving one's health. In terms of the design principle of color, what is so important to the effectiveness of this design message to the audience? I did say this one was tricky. So the correct answer here is that the design heavily uses pastel colors, but importantly, why? Psychologically speaking, pastel colors are a strongly positive color group. They are associated with cleanliness, freshness, and this makes them a good fit for marketing themes around health, makeup, or fragrance. They also do have feminine connotations, hence the use of pastel colors in makeup and skincare products. Anyway, in total there were 42 points up for grabs. Anything above 30 is a great score, I would say, and anything above 21 is a pass. And this was pretty much a bit of fun, so don't take it too seriously. I know some people will, whatever I say. But yeah, if you want to learn more about design principles, just click a video on screen. And until next time, design your future today. Peace.